Are you a tester, business analyst, or let's say product owner, program manager who gets freaked out a little bit by having to try and decipher make files? What about understanding how stream readers work and how byte arrays might be used in hash table implementations? Do you feel you're not contributing enough value to your team and your software delivery because you don't understand how highly scalable search engines might work? Stop. Just stop. Your value to a software delivery team is not just defined by your ability to write or not write code, but there's some really interesting things that you can improve your contribution to a software delivery team if you learn some very basic concepts around how to write code. So welcome. This is a course meant to do exactly that. This is Coding for Non-Coders. I'm Jim Holmes. I'm an executive consultant. I have my own company, Guidepost Systems. My email address is there, jim@guidepostsystems.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm a Jim Holmes. I'm not the Jim Holmes. I'm just a Jim Holmes. And you see my company site there. There's a bit more about me. There's a technical blog. I also talk about service offerings and whatnot that I have from my company. But something that's really critical that I want to make sure is clear to you, if you have any questions, something that you need to discuss about the course, you're confused, you're stuck, you're looking to share some of your own experience, please head over to the club, which is at club.ministryoftesting.com. By you purchasing this course, you have membership access to that MOT Pro Members area right there on the screen. And inside there will be a specific discussion area for this course, Coding for Non-Coders. I can't show it to you yet because I'm recording this before they've made it. Point being, this is going to be a discussion area just for you and other folks who are taking courses from Ministry of Testing. So you can get great answers there. I'm going to be an active participant there, be regularly monitoring it. Moreover, Ministry of Testing is just an extraordinary community, and it's a great community to be a part of. They've got other courses. They got all kinds of neat things that are going on there. Get used to this as one of your best resources. That said, don't hesitate to contact me. You can ping me on Twitter or drop me an email. I love talking about this stuff. I care about it, and I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this course that you possibly can. So either contact at the Ministry of Test Club or email me directly. I also want to mention that I have a book on leadership. If you're interested in refining your own leadership skills or learning a bit more about how to be a leader, this is a very practical, hands-on book. It's not theoretical, and you can find it there on LeanPub. What does writing code look like to you? If you're taking this course, you're somebody who doesn't know how to write code, or you haven't done it, or maybe you did it a very, very long time ago and you're interested in kind of brushing up on the fundamentals again. You know, to a lot of people, writing code is scary. You don't know what things are supposed to look like. It's just confusing. It's weird. You don't understand project files. You don't understand how all the different files fit together and how things work. You may have asked yourself, why should you learn to write code? Hopefully you've answered some of this if you're in this course already, but I think there are some important reasons. Now, this course may be on Ministry of Testing, but folks who are not testers may also be taking this. So, you know, if you're on a software delivery team, you might be fulfilling the role of a business analyst or a product owner or product manager, right? Somebody who is other than a software developer, and you're scratching your head wondering, why should you learn to write code? Thankfully, software delivery is changing a lot, and I think there's a whole lot of really good reasons to learn to code. You can improve collaboration in how you talk with someone. You absolutely can improve testing by having folks who don't necessarily write code day in and day out understand what's going on. Moreover, you're going to, perhaps even more importantly, you're going to improve your own skills and value to your organization. And also, at the end of the day, I happen to be, at my heart, a little kid who likes hooking things up and seeing lights come on. Coding's fun. It's a really fascinating thing to do. So here are some goals that I'm going to try to get across to you over the course of the 15 or so lessons in this course. I want to help you understand why coding is valuable for you. I want you to be comfortable with writing simple code. And I'll talk about this time and time again through the course. There is a vast difference between writing the deep, hard, technical engineering code of, say, multi-threaded applications or very difficult web services or, data access layers. That's not what we're going to have you coming out of this doing. We want you to be comfortable sitting down, writing a bit of code, using the tools so that you can learn how to collaborate better with the developers, and you'll just gain some confidence again. Here's a map of all the different lessons that make up this course. So you're in the introduction right now. We'll move on to see how code works. A very brief introduction on sort of how software turns from a source code file into making things happen on your machine. Hello World is a standard introduction for a lot of different programming exercises. We're going to do that. We'll introduce you to integrated development environments, a more powerful editor, and get you understanding how to start working around with that. We'll dive into some more detail about working with code. Something that is very critical for non-coders learning to code is understanding a bit about the software craftsmanship movement, sort of what the principles are and why it's so important. We'll move on to laying some foundations about the example that we're working through for the rest of the lesson. And then we will start writing some tests. We'll learn how a testing framework is a critical piece of being able to write good code quickly, flexibly, and we'll play with that. We're going to learn how you handle errors and exceptions from your system in your tests. We'll take care of a number of other things about the sort of initial test case, not just a single test, but the test cases that we're writing up. I want to introduce you to Cucumber and other similar behavior-driven development tools. We'll talk about why they are such an advantage. We'll move on to practical Cucumber, where you'll learn how they can be badly done, and I'll hopefully guide you how to not do things badly. That's poorly phrased. Rather, I will guide you how to think about organizing Cucumber such that it's a help versus a hindrance. We'll talk about other programming languages. This course is going to center on C#, but I will show you how other languages look and sort of how some of the concepts that you'll learn apply. And then we'll talk about other resources, steps you can take on your own. So there's some important things to understand what this course is not intended to do. This is not going to make you a professional software engineer. This is getting you proficient and comfortable with basic writing a code. It's not going to teach you in-depth technical concepts. We're not getting into web services. We're not talking about threading. Again, this is very basic. I will show a little bit about source control, but this is not a course that dives into source control. That's a course all on its own, frankly. The integrated development environment is important to learn, but I'm not going to make you a ninja rock star master with it. I'm going to give you a starting point and talk about things that you should learn. So here's some things that this course will do. I want to give you a starting point for good conversations with the rest of your delivery team. When you have a better foundation, when you have a foundation in writing software, that's going to be a great help for you. And I'll give you a few examples at the end of the course about how some of those conversations might go and how you'll be able to better contribute to them. I do want you to understand the fundamentals, and I want you to get comfortable enough so that you get to the point where it is fun writing some basic code. So there are some prerequisites. There's some general things here. I do expect that you've got basic computer literacy. That you know how to use a mouse, that you do know how to launch programs, you understand what files and folders are. If you have a bit of proficiency using the command line, either the command prompt on Windows or Terminal in Mac, that would be helpful, but it's not necessary. So there are some things technical that you're going to need on your system. Visual Studio Code, you need to have the latest version of that, and you also need to have .NET Core installed. I don't run through the installation of those, but I do have some reference links to documentation that will help you walk through that. So there you have it. That's the introduction. Buckle in, get a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage, and let's move on.